TV. Now, it's been ages, I think, since we last did a video with Steve. Going to get his view on new coach appointment. I'm not going to say manager, because just get told about it. So, Steve, what's your view on it? I think it can go either way, can't it? It can go totally tits up, or it could be one of the best managers we've had, like what Craig said.
We don't do all it simple, do we, at club? We don't do all simple. Obviously, it's a bit left field, a bit like Maurice in a sense. But he's got obviously more experience than Maurice, and he's managed at a club. He had a good win ratio and all, didn't he? Albeit, well, they're in Division 2 at German League.
I think so.
Is that like our league? Is that on par with our league now? Fans, they say we're a bit hard done to getting rid of him, like. But you all know with Germans, and I know people have mentioned Kid at Huddersfield and Klopp, but Germans have the history of the past teams. They're all good sides, and their league's a bit like ours.
Yeah. Kind
of football, isn't it? Like, and so, like you say, yeah, it can go either way.
Are you more confident than what you were under Maurice? Although I can remember doing that video with you under Maurice, you said there's good times ahead when it were him, didn't you?
I know, well, I don't know what changed, because he set off like with them. That win at Birmingham, obviously, I didn't get carried away, but it was a good performance. He seemed to have got team set up right. And then he set it up right at Hull, didn't he? A couple of days after, wasn't it, Hull? But then, it was then his substitutions what baffled me. Yeah. It was like, a bit like Mourinho, right, we've got we go 1-0 up, we keep what we've got. But we're Barnsley, and we weren't good enough to do that. Yeah. He needed to carry on front foot and get second and third goal. You've got to go get second and third goal kills game, then you can do that. Yeah. RE were playing, but not 1-0 and sitting in. You just invite, and whoever you play, they're going to have their spelling game. There's always, like when we're under Kosh against better sides, we always have a 10-15 minute spell. So we just weren't good enough to stop opposition scoring. No. You know what I mean? So I always say he should have played on front foot, kept going on front foot. You need that second and third goals, like kills opposition then.
Are you confident then with him? Do you feel like it can be a man to bring back good times?
No, I'll tell you after the first 10 games. Oh, yeah. All right, we're in a league now. Probably our level as regards as players. Obviously, we got fun out last season at Championship. All right, we could have stopped up on last day, but hand on heart, we weren't good enough, were we? No, we weren't good enough. Neither were Bolton, even though Bolton stopped up. Reading, one or two others. We weren't good over the season. We weren't good enough. No. I'd have took stopping up. Yeah, all day. I mean, Championship, you've got to be in Championship, ain't you, really? It's miles better. But really, with players what we've got, we probably are at his level. And I can see us, if we get on a run, and I did say it in my interview after the Derby game. Maybe it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, I don't know. But looking at it, and I said, I want no more than top two, didn't I, like? Yeah.
The only one who said that, I think Luke and Craig have said that as well. They want automatic.
And I may be coming across a bit Wednesday-ish, Leeds-ish. But why shouldn't I be? Why shouldn't I be? Why can't we get rid of this little old man, little old Barnsley tag? Why can't it be like? Why can't us fans be like that? All right, I know we've got to do it right to finish top two. I mean, there'll be Sunderland, Burton, one or two others, you never know. Coventry, I've said they might be dark horses. They've come up. If they get on a roll, they'll get crowds, few players. I mean, there's still a big club, them, like, you know what I mean? So, I think we'll be there and thereabouts. But I'd like to think, top two and not playoffs, because you know what can happen in playoffs. I mean, we did. I mean, that season we were unstoppable, weren't we? Like,
second half at season. Yeah.
If we'd have played like that all season, we'd have walked league, wouldn't we? Us and Wigan would have walked league, but obviously we were unstoppable. I was going to games knowing we'd win, especially Wembley game. I thought we're not going to lose today. Even Wigan away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were playing sides off pitch like at the time. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to be making any signings. I mean, this squad, what we've got, is good enough and capable of coming straight back up. But they've got to earn right. They've got to earn right to though. We can't expect to just go out and roll teams over. You've got to earn right. You know what I mean? There'll be some tough games. Sides will come to Oakwell. You know what I mean? And defend for their lives, like your lesser sides, like. And so we've got to earn right. Yeah.
I think we need some new players. I think we need two new fullbacks, two wingers, because Isgrove, we can't rely on him, can we? Regarding his injuries, Edges, we might see more of Edges. I know you're not a big fan of Edges, but we might see more of him this season.
It all depends on what system this manager's going to play.
Well, I've heard he likes to play gegenpress, you know, the Liverpool style.
Well, they don't play with wingers, though, do they play with...
4-3-3.
Yeah, well, they don't play with natural wingers then, do they? The full-backs play as wingers. So, therefore, then, you've McCarthy and Friars. Are you going McCarthy-Friars, would you say? As your two to start?
Well, at the minute...
Bunch. McCarthy-Friars playing as... Obviously, attacking fullbacks. Yeah. So Isgrove don't play then, does he? Or unless you play him inside in three-man midfield, or you play him up front.
Well, up front in the
Edges, Moore, and Isgrove as your three.
But then, what does that do for Bradshaw then?
I know, but you've got to have him, haven't you? You've got to have him.
Proven goal scorer in League One.
Well, I won't play that system. I think you could still. I think we're better off playing 3-5-2. Three centre halves: Jackson, Pinnock, Lindsay. Your McCarthy and McCarthy and Friars. Yeah. Perm anyone from 5. I mean, Mowat and McGeegan's coming back, clean slate for them. See what's happening with them, and then obviously Moncur, Potts,
National.
Although
I've heard he's been linked away from club, returned to Austria, as well as Malin as well. Because we're going to have to offload some. I know it sounds harsh to some of them, but
we've got 5 though, Lou. We've got 5. Did I count 5 there or 6?
Well, there's Mowat, Potts, Moncur, Nash Mulner, Malin. That's 5.
That's 5. But you know, if you offload 2 and then 3 play, who's cover for injuries in there? So I don't.
Again, then it goes down to what system we're going to play.
Yeah, right. So, and I'd like to think Mowat can come. Listen, when we first signed Mowat, I raved about him. He was player of the year at Leeds 3 years ago. Something's happened with him. I thought it was a great signing for us. I thought, have we got him coming to us? Because he's a good player. But it's just gone backwards. He come to us. He wasn't fit, was he? We've loaned him out. Where did he go? Oxford. Yeah. I hadn't looked into how he's played there. I hadn't followed whether fans have raved about him. I don't know. But I'd like to think he could be one this season, him. And hopefully McGeegan. Listen, Potts had some decent games. He got better as season gone on. He was strong. Yeah. He put a shift in. His goal scoring were lacking, wasn't it? But,
shooting. Although every one of them midfielders shooting were abysmal.
Well, same with Malin as well. I think it could be a season in this league. He'll get a bit more time to play.
I won't blame Malin for going though. I won't blame him after last season.
It would ask the treater, but hey, it won the race. That it's a clean slate. This new manager's come in. It's a clean slate for every player, so they should forget that. Yeah. It's a clean slate for everybody at club. Everybody, players, us fans, owners. Like you'll see. What they're going now, all right, we signed them players in January. We got McBurney, didn't we, Moore, Mills, one or two others. It didn't work out for Mills, and I rate him. I thought he'd be a good signing for us, captain material. I thought he had a great game at QPR, his debut.
Yeah.
One or two other games he looked a bit susceptible. He got, that at Leeds. He should have took it out, really, shouldn't he? Like, and usually when you see Mills play, that's what he does. Yeah. He's let kid go around him, anyway, it's gone now. Like I say, it's a clean slate, and it all depends on what system and what of these players he's got for this system. But like you said, I'd like to see I'd like to see a new goalkeeper, me. Yeah. And I'd like to see an old heading centre mid and make it captain, a leader. One player of it, 25. If they're not good, they can still, just one player. An old head in middle at park, a captain, or you could say manager on pitch. Yeah. He's your manager on pitch, organising kids. Because you've got to have guidance on pitch. Yeah. Some of them last season, I was watching them, they were here, there and everywhere. I'd like Gardner back, but I can't. Will he drop down to League One? Well,
from reports what are coming out about what's happening at Villa, they might.
But will there be any suitors in Championship for him? You don't know.
Probably lower league, won't it? Lower league, Bolton or Rotherham might get him. Yeah.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah. And then probably we do need a striker as well. Obviously Barnes. Bradshaw, Moore, Kid Hart at Young'uns, that Adebayo, but he was never on bench last season. Why won't he get a chance if he were any good?
I'll promote him. I'd get him on bench at least in League One.
But he ought to be on bench last season and throwing him on last 20 if you needed out. What's there to lose? Yeah. What's there to lose? At the end of the day, when you're chasing a game, you never know. Raw talent. Just give him last 20, just let him do what he wants. And it's how much we can spend as well, because we've obviously got to cut his cloth, haven't we, for financial play. So it's all ifs and buts. We'll see, like that, because I keep hearing we've got to offload some before we bring some in, and keep saying squad's too big. But like I've just said with midfield, depending on what system, if he's going to go 4-4-2 and he's going to go with two, if he plays his Grove and edges, and then two in middle, he might get rid of two midfielders. Yeah. But he don't want to leave his end short if he does. If Nas Muller goes and Malin goes, I'd probably stick with with them. Yeah. Potts, Moncur, McGeegan and Mowat, all the ends. Yeah. But Moore's going to be his main man, isn't he? But I'd like to think I want them two up together. I think they'll rip it up, them two. So if he don't like, if he's not fancying 4-4-2 and leave it, but I don't think we would be opening League One playing 4-4-2. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's different to Championship. We'll not get exposed and fun art, so we could play that. So Moore and Bradshaw up top, and then obviously sign another striker from somewhere and promote this young and up onto the bench. Yeah. So you're four there, ain't you? Four strikers there, and see how it goes. But I'd like to think Moore and Bradshaw will tear it up, and their goals then will get us up. They'll get it. You've got two goal scorers in that league. They'll get you up.
But you'd still have another striker as well. You'd sign somebody.
You've got to have another. You've got to have another because there'll be injuries, suspensions, won't there? Yeah. And I'd go as far as saying sign one and see if this Adebayo, get him on bench, bring him on. Yeah. If it don't work, bring another striker in then. So then you're four and then him. Because it might not work, you don't know, do you? Till you've given him a go.
So for goalkeepers then you wouldn't be sticking with Jack Walton then, would you? You'd want another goalie?
I'd have tried getting Steele, mate. We'd have got him on a free transfer.
What about everyone talking about Heinz Muller coming back as goalkeeping coach?
I was talking about him coming back as keeper. He's 40 though, isn't he? Is that all for the keeper? We had Colin, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen, is my... when I picked my best Barnsley 11, he got in it, and everybody said, oh, God, we all had him 2 years. Blah, blah, blah. But I thought... And obviously, I've been going since 77, so I've seen some goalies over the years. And I think he was best. And even though he was only here for that short time, I thought he was the best keeper we'd had. Big, strong, commanding 6-yarder, penalty area. Strong, commanding one, like, that's what you need. What you needed, he'd come and catch it. Yeah. I think after he got his injury, he was a bit...
Yeah, he didn't want to risk out in his son again, did he?
I mean, Davey left him on, didn't he, that game?
That was because we didn't have a sub-keeper on bench. That I can remember that.
But one of outfield players had had to go in. Did it make his injury worse? You don't know, do you? Because he wasn't same, you know, when he come back. He wasn't as brave. Yeah. I noticed he wasn't as brave. He was scared of getting a knock. Because he'd have probably thought, one more knock on that's my career done, like. So, but... Yeah, I'd welcome him back as goalkeeping coach, definitely. Like, listen, if they go with, I've said we need to sign a keeper, but if they go with young Walton, I'm all right with that. Yeah. I mean, Davis might be, but Davis will be all right in League One though. Come on, he went under a lot of pressure in Championship. You know what I mean? Focus one of them mistakes highlighted. Pressure's a bit off in League One. But if he went with young Walton, I'm happy with that.
Because if you look at goals we conceded when Walton came in, none of them we could do all we could he?
No, none of them were his fault, like, was they? But I mean, Davis did keep us in it some games, but some of his headers were basics, weren't they? Like, you know what I mean? And looking back at points, but I keep harping on, and I shouldn't, because it was terrible that down at bottom of the league, and I still said right up to the last 3 or 4 games we'd stop up.
You were most confident out of us all, weren't you?
I did. I thought. I'll tell you what let us down is away games. Them last few away games when we went to Ipswich, Forest, Leeds, they were all there for taking, not to play for. But what I'm saying is, if we'd have played like we played at home against Bolton, Sheffield United, Brentford, and who else? Well, there's somebody else. Bristol City. Right? Them 4 games, back end of the season, we were as good as out. Out we played. But we didn't play like that away.
But that Bolton game, that should have been 3, that. We should have been beating Bolton. We'd have stopped. Well, we'd have been talking here. We'd have been sat here having a different discussion, wouldn't we? We could have hit Maurice March still have been manager.
We would have been saying we need to sign him. We need to sign him. We need to sign him. We need to spend 5 million, and it's all changed, isn't it? But I know what you're saying. But even I was disappointed we didn't beat Bolton, but we weren't down after that game, were we? I mean,
we won't, but
I know. But you're using that game. It's all over the season. It's over the season.
Yeah, we weren't good enough. Simple as that, were we? But we fight. We go till end. We're not going to say, well, right, we're going to go down because we're not good enough. We're still going to try and stop up, aren't we? So then, can you see any German players coming through? Oh. Can you see him bringing a few in? Maybe from Hanover or wherever?
They might do. Like I said, the coach good over there, aren't they? And their football's always good, competitive. I mean, I know Bayern, like, they've got edge on at rest, but, like, there's 3 or 4 good sides. I mean, I looked at table to I think Cologne and Hamburg, to the massive clubs, they both got relegated. I think it was Cologne and Hamburg. Kevin Keegan late there, back in day, one at first to go abroad. And they were a massive club, Hamburg, at the time. He couldn't like Levy's links and that. I mean, I've noticed this coach is only 25. And who's other kid is fetched and all? Is he assistant, like?
Assistant, yeah. I can't remember his name, though. It's Winkler or something.
Something like that. Yeah, Levy's contacts, weren't he? Like, I don't get why he's not starting while July 1st. Is he still contracted to somebody?
No, not that I know of. I think that's the day he starts. Do you know what I mean? Cause
I thought he'd have started straight away.
Well, I'm sure he'll be doing his research and that, won't he? And
Well, he'll be watching videos at players. He'll be watching videos at opposition. He'll be obviously Ghanaian and Crying and one or two others will be looking at players who identifying some players who we're likely to be bringing in. Link with. I had to laugh at it. It was a good laugh on Barnsley BBS. You know, I tell you, this kid.
I read it, but I'm not on it.
A kid said we should get Akinfenwa. I could see what he meant. Type of player, but not him now. He's too old, isn't he? Like, but big, strong. Yeah. I know what kid meant for that league, like. Because if you look at Moore, he's tall, but he's skinny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that kid at Lincoln, me. Centre forward at Lincoln. He's... I can't remember his...
I know what you mean. We watched him in playoffs.
He kept getting pulled up for fouls, though, didn't he?
Yeah, that would drab that. That first leg were drab. It was note a piece, wasn't it?
Well, I've advocated playoffs just one game, me.
Yeah. Have you heard about Football League Cup as well?
Yeah, scrappy extra time.
Yeah, so
and Johnston Paints.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening regarding...
They're having a meeting regarding that. Because I think they should scrap that and it shouldn't be groups. It should be one off the knockout.
It was, yeah.
No.
Good way League Cup though. Go straight to penalties because I went to all League Cup games last season and I was glad it didn't go to penalties. I think Morecambe, when we won 4-3.
Well, I only missed one game, didn't I, all season? Morecambe in League Cup. You missed Ipswich. I told everybody I'd not missed a game. I didn't count Morecambe. No, going back to that though, with playoffs. In non-league, they only do it as one leg, and team who finishes third.
I assume they'll play at a neutral ground then.
No, team who finish. What happens in non-league is, team who finishes third goes straight to final.
Right.
5th and 6th playoff.
Yeah.
5th's at home to 6. Winners of that, then are away at 4th. And then winners of that play third in final at a neutral ground. So the team who's finished third are straight through to final.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In a way, that's all right then, because you could sit in third on 80-odd points and 6th could be on 60-odd.
Well, who went up in third? How many points? Fulham finished third and went up. Yeah. So that proved that was right, didn't it, if you're going on that basis. But I noticed one in non-league where a team who finished 6th, loads and loads of points behind third and went up. But obviously they could have bet team who finished third in final, so it's irrelevant that, isn't it? Like, but that's what they do in non-league. I mean, it's all right having 2 legs because it gives your supporters your chance to follow your team in. Yeah. On home leg if they can't get to away leg, obviously because ticket allocations. So I suppose in that sense it's better for fans. But going back to Cannibal and Johnston Paints, I'm all for that. They need to scrap under 21s. No groups, straight knockout. Blah blah blah. Same with League Cup. I'd have FA Cup same. I want every players in that because. There'll be more excitement on one-off games and finishing on day. I'd probably have extra time at FA Cup. Yeah. Being a bigger cup and that, more prestigious. So, but I'd have it finished on day. No replays. They're getting it way. Fixture. They're getting it way. And especially for teams who's in Europe. I mean, with Champions League groups and Europa League, they're playing extra 10 games. That Europa League should be a straight knockout. No groups, straight knockout. Too many games. You know what I mean? And have you heard that about winter break?
Yeah, that's not this season though, is it?
Season after, it's just going to be Premier League, is it? or everybody?
No, it's Premier League, I think.
It's going to be over Christmas time, isn't it? Which is
February.
Oh, it's going to be February. But somebody put a good.
Sure it was there.
Why February? I don't get that because Champions League usually starts back then. I don't know how I'll pick that. I thought they'd have it after probably third round at FA Cup, which is first week in January.
I'd like to hear Ian Holloway's view on that. I can remember it other year when they were on about having a Winter World Cup. He says...
Well, it's in Dubai. They're still on about that in Dubai because it's that hot, the camp. So they were going to move it. So, only way you can do that is you have to bring our league to start earlier every season. So it'd have to come back, say, a month. When's that? 2022, next World Cup. So next four seasons, it'd have to come back a month. So you see, and then you could have a break then for World Cup, and your season starts back after World Cup. That's the only way they could do it. So your season would kick off, say, in June or July.
Yeah. It'd bugger people's season up, play clubs' seasons up, wouldn't it? I don't know.
It's like I've said, why are they playing them in these countries? Why are they playing them in these countries? It's all that. That game with Liverpool and Madrid should never have been played in what country?
Russia. No, it wasn't Russia.
There were thousands of fans couldn't get there because of they couldn't handle the planes going in because it was only a small airport. There were people who bought tickets who couldn't get there. There were people who had to drive there, set it off on Wednesday and Thursday. Even Madrid fans. And there were loads of tickets got sent back because they didn't sell them all because... All right, they got compensated from clubs. I know some Liverpool fans did, I don't know about Madrid. But it was terrible having it there. For me, they should wait to see who gets through. They could pencil somewhere in, but then have somewhere else. It's like over here when Man U and Chelsea had to go over to Moscow, wasn't it?
Oh, in 08, yeah.
It's absolute stupid. It should have been at Wembley or at Cardiff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I says, if like... Who won it? Who got through? Liverpool and Madrid should have been either in France or Italy or Germany, nearest to their countries. So you know what I mean? Not right over there.
Don't think about that though.
Logistics are terrible to get to places like that. Just because they're in competition, don't mean they can be awarded final. Come on.
It's already arranged though, isn't it? Where final's going to be. But
well, they should look at it. They should look. UEFA know for a fact who's going to be sides, who's going to be in it near end. Madrid, Barca, Bayern Munich, blah, blah, blah. They know who sides are going to be every season. English club here and there, you know what I mean? Odd one or two Italian sides. So they know. Logistics are terrible. Like, where it what hell? What terrible? The hotel prices up. Discuss. I know I'm getting off topic of Barnsley, but it's got to be said, innit, about what they're doing to the football fans. FA, Football League, UEFA, blah blah blah. All this, that, and other. They don't care about fans. Hey, but I'll take my hat off to England playing at Wembley to Leeds overnight. And I think they should do it all the time. Atmosphere was 20 times better than Wembley.
Yeah,
I watched it. The atmosphere was 20. The crowds next to the pitch, atmosphere were better. Fuck Wembley, get it sold. If they want to sell, get it sold. Let them play fucking silly American football on it. Because that's all he's bothered about. Him who owns Fulham was wanted to buy it. Get it sold. Move it right country to different grounds. There's Old Trafford, Newcastle, the big grounds, they can cope with it.
I think problem with Wembley is I think you'd see a lot more football fans, proper fans, go to watch England if it were the toured round England. Because when it's at Wembley all the time, you see that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
You've got all your corporates at Wembley, ain't you, on the freebies and that. At these little smaller grounds, you'll get more of a genuine fan going, they'll think, oh, I'm not... Because a lot of it's London-based with Wembley, though. I'm not saying the people up here who's corporate who travel down to Wembley, but majority will be in Wembley. Your businesses and your top businessmen. Oh, I'll treat my clients. We'll go to Wembley, England versus blah blah blah, and it's a day out for them on beer and food and that. But they'll think, oh, I'm not travelling up to Leeds. I'm not travelling up to Newcastle. Blah. And like you said, your proper fan then gets a ticket. Who can't get one when it's. But I've got no burning ambition ever to go and watch England, and not knocking them. It just doesn't do it for me. But I was talking about them. I like look at these young uns. I'm not saying what we're gonna do at World Cup, but all I can say is let them play. Just let them play. I like look at them. There's a good blend of these young lads. Let them play. Don't try and coach stuff what they can't do or in and out of them and this, that, and other. We've got some good lads in team at minute. What we do in World Cup's a different matter because we always, when we get to tournaments, we always mess up, don't we? So
it's because we play these odd friendlies who are against sides that aren't that good and groups to get in. You know, qualification against we qualify against sides who aren't that good, but then when it comes to doing it in big tournament, we never seem to do it. So all right then, well we'll quickly just go back onto Barnsley then. Can I ask if you're confident yet? I can't really, can I? It's a bit too early.
Jury's out, like I said, jury's out. There's no to fear in this league. Well, like I said, we're at his level regarding as players wise, squad wise. No to fear. Look at three sides who's come back up. I expect us, Sunderland, Burton, to be up there like them three who's gone up. Rotherham, Bolton, and Wigan and Blackburn. We need to get off to a good start, obviously. Let's get behind new manager and staff.
I say, I know you're not bothered about friendlies, but Salford City, that's a good one, isn't it? Away.
I know, 14th, I might go.
Yeah.
I don't usually go to friendlies, so I might go like to tick ground off. But they've left their two managers though.
Oh, them who
to Chester. They've
oh,
gone to
right.
Chester. He's got Graham Alexander's manager.
Oh, I know he is. Yeah, he got it.
Good job for him. That he'll do well, and they got promoted as well. They're in conference now, them. Yeah. So the budget will be bigger now. Well, he'll need a bigger budget for better players at conference. So. They're one step away from Football League now, them. So they might get the dream, Giggsy and Scalzi and that, like, and Gene Ev and that, get them promoted. And a sad day for Shaw Lane, then they've packed in, like, I know there's been bits and bits going off on Twitter regarding what owner said and that, regarding when Barnsley got relegated. I think we'd have done same to him when Wednesday went down. I mean, I never went to watch him. I had no affinity to him, and like, I mean, a lot of people said that have took fans off us. I don't believe that. There were only one man and his dog watched him anyway. I don't see how they were a threat to Barnsley. So, but I keep hearing rumours about what he was like, kid like. I mean, I don't know him, but I mean, he put all his money into it, so take my hat off to him. But obviously, you need millions and millions if you want to keep going and going. So they've gone now. So there'll be players there looking for clubs at Shaw Lane who were on money. And they had a good run last year at FA Cup, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Mansfield, wasn't it?
Played Mansfield at Haversley Rec. Danny Rose scored a couple. So they've gone. So bye-bye to them. Oh, going back to that though, just a quick one. When they did, I thought they should have built a national stadium in Midlands.
Yeah.
Accessible for everybody. That's where it should have been, a really good and light, you know what I mean? But you're too far away. I mean, as much as I loved it at Wembley. Well, I've been four times, haven't I? You've been three. I went when we played Ipswich in playoff. You are too far away from pitch.
Yeah, I know.
You need to be near. You need to be near at pitch.
Yeah. Well, I can remember other year. Other year, quite a while ago, obviously, when they were building New Wembley, and they did same then, didn't they? They went around grounds. I think they did Villa Park, they did Old Trafford, and it's a lot better that way. I find it a lot better that way. I'd even me say maybe one day let's go. I'll go. But travelling down to London to watch England, who aren't they're not brilliant, are they? Let's be fair. Yeah, they might say they've got some upcoming players, but they're boring to watch.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are now. I don't think they are. I think this overnight in patches they looked a good side. They've got some good young ones, but what I'm saying is they need to let them play. Yeah. Don't tell them this. Let them play. Get on with it.
Well, I'm happy for John Stones anyway. He looks as though he's going to be a regular spot there in at centre half. So I'm happy for him. Happy that he's going to rush her, and yeah, hopefully we can do better than what we expect him to do. So, all right then, guys. Well, discussion on all sorts there: Champions League, Barnsley, all sorts, England. So yeah, overall, just keep your support coming for the what?
Yeah, I'm dedicating today's what you call it video to my mate Terry Crowther from Kexbury. I saw him last week at Cawthorne, and he come up to me. He says I watch your videos. My nephew likes them. I says, yeah, it's nice. He says, we have a great laugh. He says, when I first saw it, I says, I know that kid. And then you saw me last week, took photo. I bet he couldn't believe it. Anyway, it's dedicated to you, Terry. I'm going up.
All right then, guys. All right then, guys. See you later. Thank you for watching Tykes TV. Make sure to check out our other videos that are also on the channel. If you like the video, please give us a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you don't miss out on our latest videos. All the best. God bless.